Today I'm doing something actually crazy. A beautiful and absolutely gigantic apple artwork using materials you can find in your kitchen. I don't think you are going to believe how realistic it turned out, so you've got to wait until the end to see how it looks. Good morning, good evening and good afternoon everyone. Welcome to my channel. Warmest welcome to my lovely patrons, subscribers and you lovely visitors as well. Today I am craving something 3D, something very different to what we did last week. Some of you will remember when I made this 3D apple. I painted a branch and then I had one apple hanging off the branch. I really enjoyed making that. I enjoyed making it so much that I then proceeded with making this piece that I love, and I kept it because those cherries are just real and I love cherries. Today, however, I really want to make a big apple. First, I wanted to make the round apple and hang it somewhere on the wall, but now I'm thinking I actually want to apply it to a canvas, maybe half of the apple. So I'm going to prepare the background, and I want a cracked background. I've got base layer and crackle paste. It probably is going to be bigger than this, but I'll keep this space uncovered. The base is applied. Now the top layer, this is still wet. It has to be wet, otherwise it won't work. I didn't even bother to mix it with any color. I'll try to keep the bottom layer untouched. It says I can apply it up to, oh wow, 50 millimeters thick. 50 millimeters. What? I thought it was 5 millimeters. It says up to 50. Okay, I can make it really thick if I want to. Done. Not too thick, not too thin. Oh, let's see tomorrow how it starts cracking. I'll show you the background a day later, and I think it's still working. Still some cracks are being created. Isn't it nice? Imagine it painted. No idea what colors I want to add to the background yet, but it's time for the apple, so let's put this away. I'm not going to make it out of some fancy clay or air drying clay or polymer clay. No, I'm going to use whatever I can find in the kitchen. Paper towel. I've almost forgotten that I didn't want the whole apple. I wanted half, so I am trying to flatten it a little bit. Well, it doesn't look like half of an apple. And then I'm going to focus on the layer of aluminium foil. If you think I've ever tried it, no, I haven't. As usual, first prototype here for you guys. Well, more aluminium foil. You know, everybody can do it. It's like packing lunch for school for your children. There you go, your bun with ham and cheese. See, you're getting a really nice, almost solid item. It only requires now shaping and making the indents. And I'm going to add a couple more layers of aluminium foil, of course. It's beginning to look like apple, half an apple. Now I'm going to cover everything with one color, but I do want the cracks to be slightly golden. So I'm going to quickly go outside. I'm going to spray everything with gold. And then I will see where to go next from that. I could use a brush, dab it in, but it's going to be way quicker using a spray can. I kind of like the effect with gold. Looks very nice. I went shopping and I brought some more foil because I wanted more shapely now. Add a little bit more volume here, perhaps. I'm going to cover it with the first layer of wall putty. To make it smoother and easier, it's going to be mixed a little bit with PVA glue. I've never used wall putty with PVA glue, never ever. I also never seen anybody doing it. I was looking for something nice to put the apple on, and this is perfect. This tiny little mat is so handy. I know some of you will be asking, so I'm telling you straight away. This mat came actually with my new UV resin kit. Hey. Oh, how pleasant. I feel like I want to use my fingers. Yeah, I want to use my fingers on everything. I don't think that's the end of my 3D experiments. I seem to be working in cycles, and once I'm satisfied with the experiments, I move on to something completely different. So I may have a season for glue gun, then maybe some poured flowers, and who knows. It's dry. I'm going to sand it now. I'm going to wear a mask, so no talking. Sandpaper, and then I'll apply another layer to make it all nice and smooth. So far, that's it. I didn't go too deep. I want it to be solid. And now I'm going to apply another layer. And then I'll leave it to dry. Maybe I'll apply a thick layer as it is. So nice to spread. And once you add a little bit of water, it's even easier. Keep going. And I've got everything covered. I'm keeping the little one as a reference. Once I spread it all nicely, I'm actually using my finger now and get it smoothed out with a bit of water. It's going to be much smoother, and that will save me lots of sanding. Gently, you see how nicely that gets it smooth. I never thought about it actually like this. Oh, this is perfection. If I see a gap, I can still add a bit more here and there. So I didn't add anything else to this putty. Nothing. Straight from the pot and a drop of water. Painting a 3D apple is very different from painting an apple on a flat surface. Here I will get some natural shadows. As you can see, another sandpaper work, and we've got a very, very smooth surface. I am going to add a layer of light Naples yellow, as let's call it an underpainting. I didn't want to start straight away with red. I do want to see a bit of yellow on this apple, a bit of maybe even a touch of green, and of course plenty of red. I also have yellow ochre here, which I will be adding to this section, so we'll be getting some darker values straight away. It's very important that we paint in streaks. That's the kind of texture and the color of the apple, so I do want to see later on some stripy patterns. This looks like golden delicious or something like that. And yes, every color I'm going to add is going to turn into a different type of apple. So what do I have here? I've got some phthalo blue, lemon yellow, and I'm going to use the other colors together to create this, don't know how to call it, kind of a greenish tone, earthy tone with a hint of green. And this is going to go here where the little stem or stalk will go. And now I want to make the bottom section of the apple darker, and maybe this side a little bit darker. I've got vermilion, scarlet, I put a touch of alizarin crimson, burnt sienna, and let me dip the brush into those. Very deep. Ooh, pretty. So as you can see, this part of the apple is going to be darker. I'm covering the whole section here with this darker tone. Oh, so yummy. Crimson here. Well, so far I'm rather pleased with the apple. Wonder what your thoughts are. a little bit of yellow again on top in some places. Kind of translucent, so we can still see the colors underneath. What are we missing? We are missing those little dots. I'm kind of wondering how to do that. You can see that I'm enjoying myself because I can't finish. Unfortunately, I'll have to use a tiny brush. That's what I'll have to do. And basically make some dots. And I'll add some more. I like my apple. I'm going to dry it and then I'm going to put some thick layer of varnish. Let's put my monster on. Oh, the apple is moving. This is one powerful tool. Yeah. We are going to use Liquitex gloss varnish. No worries, there's no paint here. Yes, makeup brush. Oh, so gorgeous. Okay, I am going to make some other fruit. Absolutely. I'm in love. Only apply one layer on that. Some stripes. I wonder how many of you are going to try this. I've decided to make a little indent for the stem. I'm using this little tool called Dremel. Super useful. Let's use Fimo. I've got some bits, and no matter how I keep it locked in an airtight container, wrapped up, it's still dry. I do like using Vaseline to revive it. I might use the yellow one for the little stem. Let's make it softer now. It's amazing how that works. Okay, that's good. Now, I do have a roller. Going to worry about the edges later. Oh, beautiful. Perfection. Yes, this is so gorgeous. Pressing the edges down and then removing the scruffy bits is going to go. This is way too long. Let me put it on the baking tray now. Not the apple, of course. This. And 20 minutes in the oven, 110 degrees. See you soon.
A few moments later.
This is pretty crazy. This yellow. Solid. All we need is some brown, bit of green, raw sienna. I did use yellow ochre, which is pretty similar. Lighter marks here. With regards to the leaf, I don't want it too light because the apple is crazily vibrant. I've got some white and I am going to add phthalo green, yellow green, and because it's so crazy, what I mean by crazy is the vibrancy is beyond what I want. I am going to add maybe a bit of this burnt umber. Let's add a bit of black and see what we can get. This might be the color I would like to see underneath. I am covering everything with this light green to mute the yellow, and once this is dry, I am going to apply some deeper green tones. Lots of white and a hint of magenta. We still have a little bit of this olive green, but with darker sections. Yeah, now I'm liking it way more. I'm going to stick it down with some strong glue. And then, well, if you love apples, it could be yours. It's going to be on my website. Now, what would you choose? Would you choose this golden background or something else? This will depend on the owner of the apple. I can keep it on the gold, or I can change the background color. It reminds me of something. Now looking at it, it does remind me of my older work. Look at this! So we've got, fruit selection. Oh my goodness, that was such a long time ago, and I used something shocking for this. I used glue gun to make those lemons. I hope you enjoyed this episode. If you do, please don't forget to like the video, and if you haven't subscribed, I would really appreciate if you subscribe to the channel. It does help the algorithms, and more people can create with us. Don't forget to check out my Patreon for extended versions of my tutorials. And if you want to own this piece or any other of my original art, head over to my website abcreativeofficial.com. Thank you so much for watching, and see you all next time.